We've got our hands on the air travel kilometers for Catherine McKenna's first 9 months in office. You won't believe the shocking number and who paid for her carbon guilt. We all know Canada's Environment Minister, Catherine McKenna, loves to travel. She loves to hop on a plane or a jet and scoot off across the globe to lecture us about how to live more modestly and how to use less fossil fuels. We knew she traveled a lot, but we never were able to really pin down a real number until now. Just look at this number right there, 60,000 air travel kilometers. And that is in less than a year. Look at the date on the top of the invoice. That's 60,000 air travel kilometers for the Minister of Environment and Climate Change from the time she took office November 4th, 2015 until the end of July 2016, according to the invoice the government provided to us. But it gets worse. You see, the government likes to make reparations for their sins, but it isn't them paying for their climate indulgences. It's you. Not only do Canadians foot the bill for all this globe-trotting, which is normal for any government, but now we're footing the bill for the government's climate guilt and remorse. The only way I got my hands on the number of air travel kilometers for McKenna in those first 3 trimesters of her tenure as climate change minister was because we asked the government how much McKenna was charging back to the taxpayer in carbon offset credits. Now, what are carbon offset credits? Let's go right to the horse's mouth, shall we? According to the Suzuki Foundation, a carbon offset is a credit for greenhouse gas reductions achieved by one party that can be purchased and used to compensate or offset the emissions of another party. Carbon offsets are typically measured in tons of CO2 equivalents and are bought and sold through a number of international brokers, online retailers, and trading platforms. Did you get that there? Carbon offsets are a voluntary, self-imposed climate change fine. It's self-flagellation for one's carbon hypocrisy. Feel bad about flying? Well, you can just pay some company who planted trees or put up a wind turbine for their fake currency of carbon offsets to make yourself feel a little better. It's crazy. It's fake. And McKenna's guilt about her jet-set ways are not the taxpayer's problem. But according to these access to information documents that we have, McKenna charged taxpayers another $479.22 over and above her travel costs to placate her personal discomfort about her cushy lifestyle and her 60,000 travel kilometers in just 9 months, including when the house wasn't sitting for winter break. Now, getting back to those 60,000 travel kilometers, I did a little quick math, and at the rate McKenna was globetrotting for those first few months, we could probably get McKenna all the way to the moon just in time for the next election in 2019. Now, that's a heck of a lot of air travel kilometers for someone who agrees with the United Nations that my SUV is going to kill us all in 12 short years. The latest report from the UN IPCC says that the world only has 12 short years to save itself from the latest climate Armageddon. Too bad I'll never see it because the hole in the ozone already killed me twice, and then I drowned from the rising sea levels in the last UN predicted apocalypse, and that was after we all died from acid rain and the end of net neutrality. Anyway, according to CTV News, in an interview with the Canadian press recently, Environment Minister Catherine McKenna said she knew the IPCC report would say we're not on track to be hitting 1.5 degrees. We acknowledge this, and we all know we need to do more. That's why the Paris Agreement is set up the way it is. Every country in the world needs to take action, and then we need to be more ambitious about the action we are willing to take. Yes, of course. I bet McKenna is willing to do more to fight climate change, to travel more, to charge more carbon offsets to the taxpayer to satiate her troubled conscience about her carbon-addicted lifestyle. I actually sent an email to the ministry asking for comment. Here's what I sent them. I told them I'm working on a story about the minister's purchase of carbon offsets for her air travel. According to Access to Information documents, the Minister of Environment and Climate Change charged the carbon offsets for 60,000 kilometers in air travel from her swearing in November 2015 until the end of July 2016 to taxpayers. I have 3 questions. How does the minister reconcile her carbon-intensive air travel kilometers with her mandate to impose a low-carbon economy on Canadians? Is it ministry policy to purchase carbon offsets for carbon usage, or is this practice voluntary? And finally, how does charging carbon offsets to the taxpayer encourage the ministry to use less carbon? I was ignored, of course. I mean, why answer tough questions from me about how you spend tax dollars when you can just go on the CBC for a tongue bath and a free campaign ad? And as for me, when the people telling me the world is going to end start behaving like it just might, then I might take them a little more seriously. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. Did you know that we have a Rebel Media mobile app? It's available on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Download it, give it a whirl, send us a little feedback, and take the other side of the story with you wherever you go.